Hello and welcome to another trip report, and good morning from a very cold and wintry Gatwick North Terminal here in Sussex. Today I'm flying with TUI on their 787-9 Dreamliner all the way down to Tenerife in the Canary Islands. TUI is an airline that many of you have told me to take, and finally I'm getting around to doing it. I've flown with Jet2, I've flown with Thomas Cook, and finally on the big three charter airlines I'm flying with TUI. Really looking forward to this one. Enjoy the video. TUI operate a large base here from London Gatwick Airport. They're based out of the North Terminal and occupy the check-in zones at C and D. Until a couple of years ago, the North Terminal was British Airways' home here at Gatwick, but now EasyJet is the main tenant, and the character of the terminal has changed somewhat. One thing that hasn't changed is the good availability of decent lounges. I'm off to the Aspire Lounge here in the North Terminal, accessible via my priority pass and not through the class of my ticket. I fly around 100 times a year, and quite often I'm on flights which don't have a lounge available, either because I haven't paid for business class or the airline simply isn't in an alliance with a lounge that allows me to enter. I find priority pass excellent value for money, and I've long recommended it on this channel. I've left a link for you to explore priority pass options in the description text below. I really value airport lounges. For morning flights like this one, it means that I don't have to pay for breakfast at the hotel the night before, and the other thing that it guarantees is a charge on my phone and my cameras before I set out onto the flight. Just heading to the gate now. Can't wait to check out TUI's Dreamliner down to Tenerife today. I'd actually forgotten when I was in the lounge that I wasn't really supposed to have any breakfast in there because I wanted to review the food offering on board TUI's flight today, but no matter, I'll just order something on board anyway. There's a very good reason why I've chosen this specific flight to take down to Tenerife today. Normally, TUI would operate a 757 or a 737 on this route, but sometimes when the low season on their long-haul routes coincides with a high season in the autumn and winter in the Canaries, they operate a wide-body 787 Dreamliner. You can check if your flight is being operated by a 787 Dreamliner on the TUI website. They make it abundantly clear when these wonderful aircraft are operating on these routes with this gold star. TUI's service on short-haul routes to places like the Canaries is economy class only, so I had to purchase an economy class ticket. The good news is their premium cabin at the front of the aircraft is available for just a £10 upgrade to sit in much larger seats and much greater comfort. You'll see just how good value this is later on in the review. This is actually my first time ever flying TUI, and I was really impressed when I got on board. The premium cabin is laid out in a 2-3-2 configuration. Almost all of the seats are excellent. However, you will want to avoid row 7. There is no window in row 7. This is the aircraft that TUI like to send to places like Mexico and the Caribbean, and the legroom is more than adequate for this 4-hour flight down to Tenerife. There's also excellent seat pocket storage for all of my junk that I'm going to be requiring later on in the journey. Just sat down, a really positive first impression of TUI's Dreamliner. I love this cabin, plenty of space, much more in fact than it looked on the photos when I was researching this online. Lovely holiday spirit in the cabin. In fact, I've got a free seat next to me. It's going to be a great flight. Let's get this show on the road. After a brisk takeoff from a cold and wintry Gatwick Airport, we're soon on our way southbound to the Canaries. As we chase rainbows over West Sussex, it's probably a good time to take a look at the route down to Tenerife today. We'll be flying 1,807 miles at 40,000 feet. It'll take around 4 hours today. Let's take a quick look at the premium seats on this 787. Every seat comes with a power socket which delivers a half-decent charge. There's also a remote control for the in-flight entertainment, and every seat comes with one of these footrests. Personally, I don't find footrests comfortable, but it's there in case you need it. Tray tables in the premium cabin are stowed in the armrests and can be easily deployed just like this. They're nice and sturdy too. The main advantage of the premium cabin is the width of the seats. This is a 232, 7 across configuration. In the economy cabin, seen here, there are 9 seats across. That's a 333 configuration. That's pretty tight for a 787. Like all 787s, there's an electronic window dimming facility. This means that you don't have to have the sun streaming into your eyes if you want to look out of the window and make sure the engine and wings are still there. Most aircraft flying to the Canaries do not have in-flight entertainment, so it's great to be on an aircraft that does have one. The selection was okay, and as you know, I like to watch stuff that I don't really have to engage my brain for. Therefore, I ended up watching The Big Bang Theory, which is deeply unfunny. I don't really get the appeal of this show. One other important feature of the IFE is that there is a USB charge point here, which is very useful if you've got more than one device to charge. Overall, I was very impressed with the simplicity and ambience of the premium cabin on TUI. The same went for their toilets, which were spotlessly clean at the start and end of the flight. This is basically the standard factory-fitted toilet that comes with any Boeing 787 aircraft. Remember I said that all flights to the Canaries with TUI are economy class only, and this is no exception. You have to pay for all of your catering. Coffee and an orange juice came to just over £5, which is not the cheapest, but also not the most expensive that I've seen in the air. Fortunately for TUI, I'm not really much of a coffee snob. The coffee they gave me was branded Nescafe and was perfectly acceptable for an economy class product. None of my flight experience videos are complete without a look at some of the food on board. I ordered a penne arrabbiata. At just £6, I thought this was excellent value for a microwave meal at 40,000 feet. In my experience, that's a pretty low price, and therefore expectations have to be low too. As it turns out, the meal actually wasn't bad at all. The portion size was good, the pasta was nice and moist, and there was plenty of sauce to go with it too. Overall, very good for £6. I spent much of the rest of the flight having a nap, which was quite easy in these premium seats. They do recline further than the standard economy seats. Before landing, I took a look at some of the literature in the seat back pocket. There's quite an attractive duty-free magazine. Personally, I don't buy stuff on board aircraft, but it's pretty good to flick through if you're bored. Let me know if you're the type of person that buys duty-free on board aircraft. As well as the duty-free catalogue, there's also an in-flight magazine where TUI basically talk about all of their holiday options, their destinations. There's also a nice feature here on Las Vegas. I'll be there later this year. Before too long, we're descending in towards Tenerife. As I'm on the right-hand side of the aircraft, I get an excellent view of La Palma and La Gomera. I'll keep these scenes in for you to enjoy in full. And so that concludes my flight between London and Tenerife South Airport. I paid £134 one way for this ticket, and that includes the £10 seat upgrade. Overall, I thought that was pretty good value considering I only booked a few weeks in advance. Most people on this aircraft will have booked a holiday package for a week or two in the Canaries with TUI, and the flight is simply part of their package holiday. The conclusion of this flight means I've now tried Jet2, Thomas Cook and TUI, the three biggest charter operators or holiday airlines in the UK. These airlines aren't traditionally ones that I would have chosen had I not been running a YouTube channel to do airline reviews, and I was really pleasantly surprised with all of them. I'd love to hear of your experiences if you've flown with TUI in the comments section below, but for now I'll sign off and I'll see you next time with another flight review.